Alrighty, guys. Welcome back to the Iconic Podcast, episode 26. If you guys haven't already subscribed to the podcast, you know what to do. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button as well, as that does help us out tremendously. So, Tone, man, I'm happy to sit down with you, bro. Shoot the shit like it's been a while, bro.
It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. It's been a lot going on. I know in the background. We gotta let the audience know, man. We got a new team member.
Just so we officially started working with GCR Media. Massive shout out to Eric. The kid's an absolute gem. And so don't be surprised if you do see some of the older podcast episodes getting some love and some clips dropping, because he's going to really just help us boast our presence on all social media platforms. So, dude, I'm super pumped to start working with Eric. We got a lot of big things coming this month, dude. I'm really excited for us.
We do, and I think it's important just for the audience to know, for anybody that's a new content creator, anybody that's starting like their own podcast, anybody that's starting to put out content like this. I think the biggest lesson I learned is, one, I mean, I can't speak for myself because you do all the work, but editing's a real job.
Oh, it's
editing is a full-time freaking job, man.
And it's one of the things that I find to be crazy is you learn as you go.
Right.
And I once heard that don't wait till you have all the information or the knowledge. Just kind of dive into it and you'll kind of begin to learn as time goes on. And if there's one piece of advice that I can give anyone, no matter what line of business you're in, it's that you're not going to be able to do it by yourself.
No.
You need a team. Like, I remember when you first talked about us bringing Rolando on.
Yeah.
I was very scared of change, as I've been with everything in my life.
Of course.
But now that we got Rolando on, who obviously takes care of all of our filming, audio, massive help for us. I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I do this sooner?
Right.
And we're only working with Eric like 2-3 weeks. And I'm like, again, no brainer. Why didn't I do this like months back? But you live and you learn. So can't really complain too much.
Dude, and I think it's incredible though, because like it just comes to show, like, for, like you said, anybody running a business, anybody that is trying to scale something up, you are going to need those people. You're going to need your experts. And I think that's what we slowly figured out. Like, hey, we're not the best guys at filming, right? How can we outsource that? Who can we pay for their time to do that? Who've been doing it their whole life?
Well said.
Eric, he's not putting up the content. He's creating the shorts, because I think it's also a consistency game. I think like some of the conversation we had, whether it was John Rondi, whether it was James Jiang, shout out to them too.
Yep.
It's like content is everything and consistency is everything.
That's big.
And if you're trying to get whether it's your podcast, whether it's like your YouTube channel, Twitch streaming, like you need to put out content every single day, because it's so easy to just fall on the wayside. So
it's very easy to fall on the wayside. I love how you said that. And it's funny because when I went out to dinner with Eric about a week ago, we were having this convo. And
where'd you guys go, by the way?
So we went to a restaurant called Tio's. It was like a Mexican spot.
Okay, Tio's, is that the one by Tommy's? No.
So it's the same one, but down more towards like Central Jersey.
Okay.
But what's funny is I was saying to him, like, it's crazy how if you don't post content in like a month, you will very quickly be like forgotten and just kind of like wiped off the face of like the content sphere.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Nick, it's probably only like 2 weeks. I'm like, it might even be a week. Like, if you're not posting anything, the amount of videos that are going on the For You page, is ridiculous.
Like, it's so funny, because I even look at like some of the content creators I like watching on YouTube, and I see haven't posted like in a week and a half, and I haven't come across them on my recommend. I'm like, dude, did they stop creating content? And it just comes to show that it's a numbers game, right? Like, to really get an audience, to really get like people here, digesting this, like, it's a lot of work.
I agree.
And I think what we've come to realize, like, just being for a first time ever doing a podcast, ever putting something like this together, it just comes to show, like, you need a freaking team. So,
you need a team.
Dude, I'm pumped having Eric. I think it's going to be exciting. I mean, we got to shout him out. I mean, we've been only working with him for three weeks. By the way, how old is the kid? He's 18?
18 years old, dude.
18 years. It just comes to show, it doesn't matter the age. If you have a hustle, you have a skill set,
Facts.
There's people out there that can use your services. But to add to that, like, man, he just made that edit for us of Dylan Danis, and we're on his story.
We were on Dylan Danis' story, literally.
Like, that's so crazy. And with that one, it just shows it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the sometimes the quality of the content. It's just like what's viral right now, what's in the know, what does everybody know about. And I mean, that short just became our most viewed short. I think we just crossed 55K.
Yeah, it's
views.
like it's coming up on like 60,000 hits, and it's funny. Like, I had a lot of great conversations with Eric, and he was telling me like how he got started, and he was talking to me about all the different like services that he's providing, and I thought about you because he was telling me that one of the things that he does is he'll do like consulting. And he was like, yeah, Nick, the funny thing is it'll be like an hour call, but a lot of the times it'll like extend over an hour.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, the funniest thing ever. Like you were telling me, like when
Yeah.
you're on the phone with a client, it's very much like, all right, Tone, thank you very much. Got to go by.
Yeah,
And they
'cause you're
click
paying
it
for- yeah.
because they're paying for it.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, dude, I know that you literally just closed a deal.
Yeah.
Big congrats, bro.
Thank you, brother.
So tell me a little bit about that, like how that happened, how that turned out for you, bro. Because I know that you're a wealth of information when it comes to anything sales related. So like, talk to us about that.
Yeah, no. So, you know, basically in my world where I do software sales, like I have my specialty, right? And I've noticed right now my niche has been nonprofits, like understanding like what they're looking for, you know, how they buy, right? Because that's extremely important to know when you're gonna get pen on paper.
Right.
But with this deal specifically, man, like we were talking about earlier off camera, it's just about urgency and it's about having the right people in the room, right? If there's anybody out there that is in sales that wants to just get a good sense of like, hey, how do I know if this deal is going to close? It's, do you have the person that we like to call them in our world, like the economic buyer, right? The guy who, in this case, a CFO, she was a CFO. She's the one who's leading the project. She's the one that's going to sign. She's the one that's going to say the big yes, the big no. She has the funds. She knows what the board's taking into account. So with this deal specifically, it was interesting because I'd been working with, we like to call him like a coach, right? HR manager. They have a little bit of influence. They can't really sign. They're going to make a recommendation. And I built a great relationship with her, their payroll benefits person. And, you know, we've been, and keep in mind, we've been having conversations for 5 months. So
I just want to real quick add, this might be a stupid question.
Sure.
Just like break it down for like the dummies, like including myself, because I'm not in any way versed in sales. But how do you specifically build a relationship?
Yeah, no. So that's a great question. So when I first have an initial call, right, and build that trust and sound like a consultant, you're not there to really sell anything. You're there to understand what they're looking for.
Okay.
That's how you first get a good sense of like, hey, are we going to be a good fit or not, right? So right from the rip, we're first going through a couple details like, hey, what's your budget? If you can't afford it, we're probably not going to be a good fit, right? What are you looking to invest in this? Next thing is like, who's involved? Does the people that have the money in hand, right, that are going to cut me the check, do they know you're doing this, right? Are you doing your research? Like, where are we in your head on when you want to buy this, right? Next thing are needs, man. Like, is this a full scale project? Are you going to need all these different modules? Or, hey, I may need one thing, right? Does this make sense for me to invest my time in? Does it make sense for us to work together? Maybe you need a smaller vendor, you know, to be able to shape that relationship.
Fair
so
enough.
really when I'm having these conversations, that's what I'm gearing towards, right? Like, hey, when do you want this thing to get off the ground? Like, is it something you want to do right now, or is it something you want to do in the next year? Right? How should we work this evaluation with you? And I think when you're in sales, right, and you're having these conversations, notice how I'm not pushing my product. I'm not telling you how great it is. I want to first understand you. Let's just make sure, like a doctor, when you're coming into the office, I want to diagnose you, right? So then I could give you an idea what packages make sense, you know, what products make sense for your group, and is it time to do it now, right?
Nice, yeah.
So once you've done that, you know, they sense that. They're like, okay, this guy's here to truly help me. Great. So now I have their trust. Now now we got to prove ourselves, right? We understand what you're looking for. Let's just gear all of our conversation towards that. Why do you want to do it? Why is this important? And, you know, it's a lot of work from there, right? Demonstrating the product, having these conversations. There's a lot of stakeholders in these big projects, right? I mean, I would love it for just be a one call close and kind of move on.
Yeah, but that's like unrealistic, right?
It's unrealistic. No, that like the Wolf of Wall Street stuff, like for that stuff, like it just doesn't, like when it comes to these big scale software projects, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't work, right?
Don't get me wrong though. Cold calling people to get a meeting is a real thing.
It is.
Cold call people, like that's a real thing to get a conversation started. Like just like how Eric got you. It was a cold email.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, Nick, I have this thing. I've been helping podcasts scale. I want to help you. You're like, dude, this makes sense. This is exactly what we're looking for. Hey, at the right time.
It's the same thing as kind of like people just knocking on doors like real estate agents, right? Like it's
Literally.
pretty much like a cold.
It's a cold intro. Like you're hoping that at that person you're hoping at that time that person has that need. So in this case, like when Eric reached out, it's the same thing. We had a need. We needed something to do it quick. He turned around a sale in what, like 3-4 weeks? Not even 3-4 weeks. It was like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was quick since we got initially into contact with him until when we actually started working with him. Definitely very quick.
Yeah. So in this case, like same thing. So once we got that, it's so interesting how this works. I'm doing 5 months of research, 5 months of demoing, 5 months of us collaborating. They put a pause on the project, and we were already on the expectation because they told me they weren't going to buy anything until this year, 2025. But notice how quickly the things shift. I got the actual signer involved, their CFO, and we started talking. And they're like, okay, and I want to sign this agreement in 2 weeks. Perfect. What do you need? I want to first go through contract terms. Great. We go through our TSCs. We make sure there's legality involved, whatever. And then after that, it's like, hey, I just want to get some buy-in from some of our stakeholders in the company. Who are they? Who needs to see this to make sure this makes sense for the group?
Yeah.
Go into that, and then after that, like, we jumped on a call right after, and we're like, hey, like, what do you feel about everything? I'm like, no, I'm ready to go. I was like, okay, when, and this is the important thing. A lot of people forget to do this, and they're very scared to do. Ask for the business. I was like, when can you sign? Because at this point, you already know we're vendor of choice. You already know, like, hey, this is the
You
product
kind of
for
become
them.
straight up with it.
You got to be straight up
Direct.
because there's no fancy close things. When someone is fully convinced that this is what they want to buy in sales, asking the business, closing should be the easiest thing. Because you're not here to manipulate, you're not here to persuade, you're here to be like, hey, here's why we're going to be the best fit for you. Are we aligned, right? I'm not here to trick you. I'm here to make sure that we're on the same page.
Yep.
She's like, no, Aunt, you dot all the I's, cross your T's. I'm good to go. Perfect. What time can you sign? It was funny because it was that Tuesday or the Wednesday when it closed. And I always like to make sure, like, it's annoying because, like, if I don't close it at the end of the month, I have to wait for my commission to hit the following end of the month. So I told you, like, in that case, like, April 30, I wouldn't have got my commission until end of June. I'm not trying to wait 60 days. So
Yeah.
I don't want this getting into May. So I was like, what time are you signing today? Like, literally, I just asked her, what time are you signing? She's like, oh, I'll sign by 4:30. By like 5 or 10, it was signed. So it's interesting because I know we haven't gotten too detailed into what I do always, but like, it's interesting because it kind of falls along. We're all victims of it in a way where we've either wanted to get something ourselves or, just the way we're building our relationships. Like, when we cold DM our guests, like, why should they be here, right?
Exactly.
It's the same concept.
I love how you said that because I feel like sales gets a bad rep because people will be like, oh, they'll be trying to push some kind of product onto you,
right?
Versus trying to look more into like what they could do to help you out.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing people need to understand to be really successful in this game. It's don't worry about selling, worry about understanding, worry about listening. They always say when you're having a conversation, any consulting conversation, there's an 80-20 rule. You're supposed to listen 80% of the time and only talk 20%.
Okay.
Because like I said, you want to be the person that understands the client the most. Whoever does that wins. And it's always been that way whenever I've won my business. It's how am I going to really understand what you're looking for and how can I make sure that we're going to be the best fit for you? So really key thing there. So it's like, even with, like, for example, it's funny, even when you're having a conversation with anybody off the street, no one wants to hear you yap. No one. I promise you that. You could be the most interesting person in the entire world. People appreciate people that you're there to listen to.
Are more of a listener.
They'll even consider you a better conversationalist because of that.
No, it's true. I once heard a saying like, "Don't be interesting, be interested."
Exactly, literally word for word. It's just like that. So yeah, man. No, it's been great though. You know, we're moving along here, and I think just like the overall lessons we get through this. Like, I feel like even yourself, you're starting to kind of dabble in it. Like, be more direct. Ask for what you want.
Yep.
And I think the most important thing in this whole thing is don't be afraid to take a risk. Just like where you take a risk with, whether it's with this, whether it's me taking a risk with a client and asking for the business or trying to get into doors. Like,
and I think that you could speak on this just because, like, I feel like you probably deal with this on a very frequent basis, but it's also something where it's like you have to become comfortable asking the uncomfortable questions.
You do, yeah, you do.
You have to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations because that's the only way that you're gonna like stretch and grow.
Yeah, no, and I think the biggest thing here, right, is time is everything.
Yeah.
Like, don't waste your time on something like, I even say this myself, like, and it's funny, it even works in dating. If you have a sense that maybe this isn't the best fit for you, that maybe that person you're not liking too much, or maybe you feel like they're not into you, call it out.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, are we on the same page here? Like, what are we doing?
Yep.
Because you're better off finding somebody else that actually is interested in you, investing your time in that.
Yeah.
Right? And it all just kind of boils down to the way
versus
you
just like dragging it out and
dragging
wasting
it
your time.
out, waiting. Like, dude, you remember like back in high school, man? Like, I mean, listen, no one's perfect, right? Everybody has their whole dating experience, whether it's college or high school.
Yeah.
You would text the girl, and then you would have to wait like 8 hours. She's like, "Oh, I'm busy." It's like at that point, man, just done it.
Let me know what's going on from the rip.
Yeah, at that point, because dude, I remember I used to hold on to that, bro. Like when I was in high school, I remember like text a girl, and like 8 hours later, I get a text like, "Oh, hey," I'm like. All right.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? Like,
you're right though, and you just kind of learn that as you get older, like you just don't want to like waste your time anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, it's just crazy how that changes as you get older. You see situations just differently. Like you said, because now it's like, now I know, don't waste my time, and
No, that's it.
onto the next thing, you know?
It's like we won't name them, but like it's like when we were trying to get that one guest, and like they were like trying to engage with them, and they're leaving us on red, and we're like, dude, listen, like, what are we doing here? Like, are you interested or are you not? Like,
Exactly.
don't entertain a conversation if you're not ready to do this, right? Because we have other things to do. We don't have time to spend.
We're here for a good time, not a long time.
Exactly.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
it's funny. Actually, speaking of people that are here for a long time, not a good time, did you recently see what happened with Vitaly?
Dude, man, that is so crazy, bro.
So yeah, so like for anyone that's listening that I guess like lives under a rock, this is one of the bigger stories to just recently hit the web.
Yeah.
Super famous prankster on YouTube, super famous streamer. He was on Kick, had a deal the whole nine.
Yep.
And
he was about to sign a deal with Steak too before he got arrested.
like, dude, imagine fumbling that bag. Anyway, dude, he's been in trouble for like the longest
Years,
time.
yeah,
When I
yeah.
think about him when he like beat the crap out of that one woman. That was like one of the biggest scandals with him years ago. He had a bunch of legal trouble with that. But now the guy gets locked up in the Philippines. They're saying he could potentially serve up to 24 years in prison.
Yep.
And I think that it's just one of those things where you learn if you're going to go to an authoritarian state,
Yep.
like if you fuck around, you're going to find out.
Oh yeah.
And when I heard this story, I just couldn't help but think about the tragic incident that happened with Otto Warmbier in North Korea. Or that was the guy that took the propaganda
he
poster.
came back a vegetable, and he died instantly.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
what happened with Brittany Griner when she tried to bring weed into
That's so stupid.
into
bro.
exactly. It's like you can't
Like-
because you know what the thing is
Yeah.
in the States, in not getting any political whatsoever,
Of
but
course.
in the States it's just one of those things where you get a slap on the wrist for so many things.
Oh my God.
That you can get away with pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And in other countries that's simply not the case.
Yeah.
And I was just listening to someone talking about this earlier. They brought up an amazing point. People like Vitaly,
Yeah.
people like Aiden Ross, Jack Doherty, and many
other
others.
streamers, yeah.
They're doing what's called IRL streaming, in real life streaming.
Yeah.
So when you're doing that and you're committing felonies on camera, you're pretty much shooting yourself in the foot.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So now, like I said, he could potentially serve up to 24 years in Philippine prison.
Yo, and here's the worst thing about that for some of the people that don't know this. The judicial system in and I always forget, in Thailand is it Singapore or Thailand? I think it's Thailand, right? I forget.
Are you talking about the one that it's
Oh, it's Thailand. Yeah, no, where Vitaly's right now in
Philippines.
Jail. Oh, Philippines.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got Thailand from. But anyways, what I was reading was like their judicial system's so backed up right now. He's gonna be waiting 2 to 3 years just to get convicted.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, that's a real thing. Like, so not only is he gonna have to wait just to get a sentencing and then do his 23 years, he's gonna spend like 2-3 years just sitting there, and they might forget about him. You never know; they may never get out.
That's crazy.
All because he wanted. Like, that's the thing I don't understand is like the
That's
streaming
ridiculous.
money. I know the streaming money's that good, but to disturb the peace and like harass people and commit crimes, like it can't be that good.
No,
to
and
ruin your life.
It's just crazy because I feel like if you just look at his story, I know that the guy initially started out doing like the prank videos, whatever, and back in the day, pranks were massive on YouTube. That's how
Right.
like Nelk came up and all these other
Well, yeah,
big
like the
YouTubers.
in-person like pranks, yeah.
And then he eventually went to like catching,
Doing
and
that, yeah.
and that he was pulling crazy numbers on that. But
Right,
then
right.
there was always that thing with this guy where it's like, what can I do to pull more views?
Right.
So it's like, what can I do that's more crazy? What can I do to harass more people to
Of
pull
course.
whatever views possible? Now you see what happened to the guy. It's like, is this what we're coming to? Though? It's brain rot. A lot of the content we're watching.
I
here.
mean, dude. Speaking of brain rot, it's like what's going on right now with that one conversation with the 100 gorillas. 100 gorillas, the one gorilla versus 100 men.
What do you think? Who are you taking? Who are you
All right,
taking?
honest take. It's a bit circumstantial, right?
Yeah.
100. You know what? I'll use myself in the game. 100 of me versus a gorilla. We're getting smoked.
Yeah?
We don't stand a chance. Nikki, 100 of you versus a gorilla.
Well, look. Here's the thing. I was thinking I was gonna put it more in a way like, what I was gonna put it like, what generation men are we talking about? If it's the new generation,
We're
they're
talking about the soy boys. Like
the soy boys.
the soy boys.
Oh no,
yeah.
they're getting
100
cooked.
of them. They're all getting
They're
cooked.
getting cooked. But you actually think that one girl could take out 100 men at one time?
All right, realistically speaking. So here's the thing people have a misconception of. The gorilla itself doesn't necessarily like use its fangs to like bite into people or predators. It's not a predatory. Dude, it eats plants. And like, is it an aggressor? Does it go out and like beat things up? I mean, it'll charge at you, and yeah, it'll probably knock you down. But like, it's not like I don't think they're as like aggressive as like a chimp. Chimps are freaking.
They'll like eat your
menacing.
face off.
They'll literally eat your face off. They'll literally rip you limb by limb. Like, that's a real thing.
That's crazy.
So, you know, looking at this conversation, I think if a gorilla saw 100 people charging at him, and he's not in a full blown rage.
We're taking him?
We're taking him, yeah. I think we take him. But if he's like full blown, like chimp mode,
like
if
we're
he's
like
going,
banging on his chest,
hanging on his chest,
you know that we're gonna be
like
cooked.
ready to freaking take people out. Yeah, we're getting smoked. We're all getting thrown out. I mean, they simulated already, and obviously the gorilla
They simulated it.
They simulated, yeah, like that. You know how they do like those little like war simulations thing?
Yep,
They'll put like the fake 100 people and then like one gorilla, and they'll like kind of like.
And who took that?
The gorilla got it.
The gorilla?
I mean, with weapons, it's a no-brainer, right? The humans win all day, but it's funny because I saw this one clip where it was like the 10 greatest people. It was like John Jones, Ron James.
Like what about 100 John Jones?
Yeah, now gorilla's getting smoked.
The
John Jones?
Yeah, the gorilla's getting smoked.
Dude,
John Jones.
All they do is like John Jones trying to wrestle a thing, and you got like 10 of them, dude. With some jiu-jitsu, they're going down. Yeah.
So real quick, Tony, I did want to ask you, what's that next big UFC card coming up? Who's fighting on that?
So there's a few, right? And I'll actually pull them up. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
Just because like I don't wanna misspeak here. Give me 1 second.
A lot of good fights. I remember you were just telling me last night about all the boxing fights that are coming up.
This weekend's gonna be crazy.
Yep.
For anybody watching the May 5th, like. Yo, I'm not gonna lie though, Ryan Garcia was on some crazy stuff last year. Like if you hear him talk now, dude, he sounds completely different. He was on like, and he still whooped David Haney, which is crazy.
Well, you remember that whole thing that he was going through? We spoke about this like back like
dude.
How long ago was that?
That was a year.
That's ridiculous.
That was when like Haktua like blew up. By the way, we got to get into that Bitcoin scam thing too. Like how she came out. You heard about Haktua?
Oh yeah,
coin?
she got involved, and you know what, Tone? I'm actually really happy that you brought this up because I did kind of want to do like something where we kind of return to our roots, because anyone that knows me knows that I love
content.
Finance, investing, the whole nine. And I actually did want to provide a little bit of insight on Bitcoin as well as things like Tesla and gold. But yeah, like crypto, I think that now it's been just flourishing. There's still a lot of scams, and that's what's given crypto a bad name over the past several years.
Right.
But it's funny because if you just remember like 4 or 5 months ago, back when we had James on the pod, James was saying, I think that Bitcoin's going to be $100,000 by as early as when did he say, like this around this time?
Around this time, yeah.
And it already went over 100,000.
It was like 100. I think it peaked 107, something like that.
Yeah, and the craziest thing about Bitcoin is that now Bitcoin's at a point where it's going up and down hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every single day.
Right.
That I can. For sure, and there's going to be a lot of haters. I could see Bitcoin easily going to like $250,000.
Like this year?
Maybe not this year, but like there's not a single doubt in my mind that the price of Bitcoin is going to like $250,000, $250,000 plus.
I've been hearing a lot of rumors. They're saying within 10 years, it hits $1 million.
And you know what? I didn't want to sound like way too ambitious, but I 100% agree.
Like that's incredible. Like think about it this way, right? For the average investor, and I'm really bad at math, so forgive me if I get this completely wrong. So if a regular investor were to put $100 right now, right? Let's just say you're getting it like, let's just assume it's like it's at 80K right now, I think.
No, right now it's actually almost at 100 again. It's like 95.
All right, well, so you're getting $100, right? So in 10 years, your $100 turns to 1,000. And I think with that mentality, if you scale it like that, freaking A, man.
Yeah,
it's gonna go insane.
I just feel like money itself, like I'm talking about fiat specifically, it's just become so worthless.
Yeah.
Like just talking like how we mentioned before about gold.
Yeah, gold, yeah.
Right now, an ounce of gold is around $3,300, which is ridiculous.
For the average viewer that doesn't kind of get the picture here, why is that so significant now? Like, where was it like 2 years ago? Was it like way lower and like right now it's booming?
It was like I'll put it this way to you. Gold has been trading for the longest time between like $1,000 and $2,000, maybe like $2,500 per ounce.
Really?
So the fact that it's up at like 3,500 it's just ridiculous. That's
wild.
And I did just want to actually just mention this because I feel like a lot of people, they'll hear like, oh, you should invest in gold, but they don't know what that means. Meaning, does that mean I should go walk down the street to my jeweler and buy a gold chain? Like, I mean, you can do that. You
Right.
can physically buy it, but there's other things like you can firstly trade the commodity, like XAU versus UFC, similar
Yeah.
to how it was with Forex.
Yep.
Or you could buy like GLD, which is a stock, and that pretty much is tied to the spot price of gold.
Right.
So there's a lot of different ways that you can invest in gold, whether you're physically buying the commodity or you're investing on one of these platforms.
Yeah.
But as you can see, like right now, there's a lot of turmoil and a lot of FUD. So you know what? Gold's thriving as well as Bitcoin. It's very popular, and you see stocks and fiat currencies, they're all going down the drain.
Right.
So I think that that's just some food for thought for anyone that does have some cash on the side that does want to invest. I think that gold is God's money.
Okay.
And gold has been around for thousands of years. And it will never go anywhere.
Who's that one guy? Mansa Musa. He was like, I'm pretty sure like his whole reserve of his wealth was literally gold. I think it was like worth like, I don't even know, like probably like almost close to $1 trillion. They're saying it was some obnoxious amount of wealth. But like to your point, it's been around for thousands of years, and it's been a holy, like you said, a holy currency.
It's obviously not going anywhere. But speaking of people with just like ridiculous amount of money, I did just read today as well that Tesla's board was looking to get rid of Elon Musk as the CEO of Tesla. Really? But you know, this is an idea that they've apparently played around with in the past, but there's just been like so much terrible reaction to that because a lot of people, myself included, we've invested in Tesla at some point in time because of Elon.
Right.
Because if you look at Tesla as a car company, the stock is extremely overvalued. I feel like the biggest reason, I can't even say I know the biggest reason as to why people invest into Tesla is more so about because Elon Musk is affiliated with it.
Yep.
Because he's
more of a celebrity now than he is a CEO, I feel like.
Exactly. And he's super innovative. One of the things that people were so excited about were like the robo taxis. And if you look at the way Tesla stock is trajecting now, I was looking at it this morning. I actually think that it could make a run.
Really?
I think it could make a run up. And again, if they do part ways with Elon Musk, I think that you're going to see Tesla lose a lot of its market cap. And it's funny because one of the biggest stock market influencers on the internet, his name's Jeremy. Shout out Jeremy from Financial Education. He's actually one of the people that first got me into like YouTube.
Right.
He just sold his Tesla bag, which he's been holding forever.
Really? Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. When you started doing like the options trading, and I remember one of your first hot stocks was Tesla, you were taking advantage of those options. Yep. If I'm not mistaken, is the price of that stock now, even after all this, they're saying it's back to 2020 levels. Is that accurate? I just want to make sure that's true.
I don't believe so.
You don't think so? No.
Not to 2020 levels. The stock has like lost a bit of its gains, but I don't think it
didn't get that bad. Okay.
I don't think so. The market cap on Tesla is still nearly $1 trillion.
That's still so crazy.
Yeah,
it's funny because for those of you that don't know it, and if you ever want to check it out, there's this thing on Forbes where it tracks their net worth in real time.
Yeah.
And you'll see like every day they'll have like biggest winner, biggest loser. And I think one time I saw like Elon Musk, like it'll be like arrowed down and be like, yeah, he just lost $5 billion today. And I'm like,
that's ridiculous.
And then he's still worth like $230 billion. It's like, all right.
It's crazy. And I feel like Elon's gotten so much hate lately. Just because of like his affiliations with like with Trump and everything.
Yeah, the Deutsch thing. It doesn't. The thing is, like, once you get into politics, you basically ignite the left and people that are opposed to you, and then any statement you make, any gesture you make is under like a magnifying glass.
It's a dangerous game.
It's dangerous. I mean, look at him. And by the way, I'm not justifying anything, but it's all up to interpretation. When he put his hand out, you know, and
oh my God, leave us a comment down below on what you think about that.
Was it salute? People were saying it was a Roman salute. People saying, who knows, man? I mean, listen, I'm worried about what I'm going to eat tomorrow. I'm not worried about, whether you're or not. But then they did the boycott. How stupid is this, though? People were buying Teslas and destroying them. It's like,
for what?
It's like come on, man.
You're not doing anything with
that.
Or
like right now, it's kind of funny because people are scared to own Teslas in like certain blue states or blue areas because anytime they'll do it, they'll put like a symbol on it.
Yep. I actually did hear about that.
And everybody's vandalizing. And of course, the one car you decide to vandalize is the most secure car there is out there. Cameras 360.
You were telling me that that they have cameras that even if you hit a Tesla,
it's gonna immediately turn on. It's gonna record everything. It's gonna catch the movement. It's almost like a sensor, like what's nearby. I think that's what triggers it.
Yeah.
So all you see is people like keying it, people putting their ass on it. There's a video
I saw that. Like people like pissing on it and
It
stuff.
literally, I'm just like, God dang, man. But to your point, though, it's like that's a big component to it. It's Elon needs to pick a side. Like, are you going to be a political figure run Deutsch? Doesn't sound like he is anymore. It sounds like he wants to lean more to like colonizing Mars. He wants to go back to improving the Cybertruck,
Right.
which is that also brings up a good point on how much like his influence like even affects the car market, dude. Like Cybertrucks last year. I've been watching a lot of like car videos recently on like buying and reselling, and I couldn't believe it. Last year, I'm pretty sure like a Cybertruck, dude, they were reselling for like 150K.
Really?
Now, you want to get a Cybertruck? Right now's the best time to get a Cybertruck, dude. They're reselling for like 75K. People are eating like tens of thousands of negative equity right now.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you.
So nuts.
I'm gonna tell you straight up though. Like when I first saw that car, I was like, "Yo, like I love Elon. This looks different. This is cool.
This
the
is
whole
new.
nine."
This is like
Yeah, but now I see them like everywhere, and they've just kind of lost their luster, and I'm kind of just like there's better cars you can get for like $100,000 in my opinion.
oh, dude, we could get way better.
Cause I'm pretty sure that's what it starts at.
You're better off getting a Porsche. I'm pretty sure you get like an M3, M4.
Oh, yeah.
Like fully loaded. Like you're better off getting that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but listen, if you're all about like something different, something unique. But you know what's really interesting about the Cybertruck that blew my mind? The amount of load at the hitch, the amount of pressure it can handle isn't a lot, man.
Really?
Like it's less than 10,000. So if you ever see, and this goes out to all the viewers, if you ever see a Tesla truck pulling a trailer, stay the fuck away from it, because
oh my God,
like stay as far away. I couldn't believe like a Ram truck. They put like a bulldozer on the hitch, right? The ball,
yeah,
like itself,
yeah.
And they were putting the pressure on it. Dude, it held up I think up to like 18,000 pounds.
That's crazy.
On it.
Like it could tow it.
And remember, it's towing it, right? The towing ability of it before like the whole bumper kind of falls off.
Yeah.
And with the Tesla truck, dude, it was like I think I saw it was like less than 10,000. It gave out immediately. The frame bent, whatever it was attached to, like had no strength. So now I'm looking around for people who are towing trailers on a Cybertruck.
You're avoiding them like the plague.
You gotta avoid them like the plague, man. You're gonna get like, God forbid it lets loose, gives out, and then next thing you know, you got a freaking trailer coming at you.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, man. No, the world's been so nuts though.
I did just want to mention real quick, and I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I'm an economist.
No, yeah.
But from what I've done, like some research on, throughout history, things like tariffs, their short-term effects were bad, as we're seeing now with the economy going down, stocks, all the traditional markets, they're like taking a hit. However, over time, that's actually proven to be tremendously beneficial for the economy. And if you just look at some of the tariffs that Trump's put on other countries, they're like, we were pretty much getting ripped for years. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember which, I just heard someone talking about this. I can't remember which model car it is, but there's a model car that's manufactured in India.
Yeah.
It's a very famous car. And apparently, like, they were charging 110% tariffs for that car to come over here. So we've been getting ripped in many ways throughout the past. We're just kind of giving people what they've given to us. But by the way, again, not an economist here, but
of course,
I think that the stock market, cryptocurrencies, and the dollar will together thrive over time.
So what you're saying, and just for the audience, so your whole outlook right now for the status, for like our markets, the country itself, you have some optimism. You think we're probably in a good period of growth. You feel like the tariffs are going to play a benefit on it. I mean, listen, the fact that we're renegotiating is always a good thing, right?
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't have the ins and outs of this. Like you said, I'm not an economist myself. I can only speak on what I observe and what I see online and what I see in the news and my own forums. But like I said, I think if our president is out here giving us an ability to renegotiate these things and it's for our benefit, hopefully it does work out. Because like I said, man, at the end of the day, from the overall consensus, like, oh, we pay for it, right? As the regular consumer, we're going to get that tail end of this thing.
Right.
I'm hoping that's not the case, right? We can only pray and hope that we don't get screwed in the long run of this thing. But at the end of the day, too, though, man, I really hope we thrive. I really hope the dollar gets its strength back. I think that inflation, although it's lower now, I really hope our money goes a long way. Like, I hear like this thing where our income taxes might go away.
I heard about that.
That would be amazing. Can you imagine that?
That would be crazy.
But I wonder how the market adjusts to that, right? Because I don't pay income tax anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
Where does the money that used to pay taxes go? Does it go on does it just increase the price of goods and we're back at the same level? Like, it's like it doesn't matter how
You know what though, Tone? Like you bring up a good point, and I think that a lot of people are for sure struggling right now. You know, America is like a very expensive place to live. But what I will say is,
yeah.
the people that are complaining about the price of eggs going up to like $14 for a container are the same people that are going out to the club and dropping $300-400 in a night. So for me, it's like
It's all relative.
it's
yeah.
like, what are we doing here?
It's gonna be an interesting couple. It's gonna be an interesting year. I should put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. We got a lot kind of lined up right now. We gotta just keep scaling this thing.
I agree. I'm genuinely super excited for the future of Iconic. If you guys are still listening, make sure you hit the subscribe button, help us grow the podcast. Share us to your stories as well. But dude, I'm happy that we got to link up, get another one of these like nice business conversations going, because I feel like that's value that people genuinely could like
100%.
soak up and apply to like their everyday life.
And just for anybody that listens onto it, it's real because it's like things we do on our day to day. It's things that we're learning. For everyone that's been here since episode 1, I mean, it's a fun journey. I mean,
Yep.
I think we've hit some really cool milestones over the last year, and I'm happy. You know, we get a lot of support. Shout out to everybody that really tunes in, listens in, leaves a comment, gives a like. Even
real.
when we get seen on the street and like just says like great job, like does a lot for us. That's what we're
It
doing.
does.
This.
It gives you that bit of motivation, and you know, it's crazy because we've been doing the podcast for quite some time now. We're finally getting some experience under our belt, so it's like, you know, when you stick with something, you generally get to learn
Oh yeah.
how to do it. You learn the ropes, the whole nine. So I guess I feel like consistency is the key, bro.
Consistency, and I think the other biggest thing is the commitment, right? It's like, how many people have you met that were like, I want to start something, and they talk about it all the time. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to do it one day. I'm going to do it one day.
Yep.
But never gets off the ground. Like, that's what it's all about. Like, anybody, and the funny thing is, the people that typically, whether it's hate or whether discredit somebody else, are people that wish they could have gotten something off the ground. And it's not just a podcast. It's like anything.
Absolutely.
It's like working out. It's like, oh, but like, it's like what we talked about with James that one time. It's like people see you have a Lamborghini, but like, oh, but you didn't get the blue one.
Yeah.
But they say that because they don't have their own Lamborghini. They don't even have a nice car, probably. They don't even have a car sometimes. Half the people that leave comments or whatever, it's like, it just comes to show, man. That's I think the biggest takeaway from us, like what we've been doing last year. I think almost a year and a half.
But
now.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
genuinely just getting started. Like we're gonna start getting some fire guests. Like you said, like
now that we were able to figure out the editing piece out, now it's about getting better conversations, getting cooler guests, the whole nine. And I think for those that recently just seen some of the momentum, like we appreciate you guys a ton. It's been a fun journey, man. And
it's been a fun journey. We're just getting started. If you guys liked episode 26, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. And I think that, Tone, you got anything else for the audience?
no, other than that, man, let's just keep it rolling. We'll be dropping every single day. You'll be seeing clips come out very soon.
Oh yeah.
And if there's anybody out there you feel like we should bring on that you know or think is interesting, shoot us a DM at I always forget our Instagram handle.
Iconic Pod, yeah.
Iconic Pod. We'll take anybody, but other than that, man.
That's it, guys. Thank you very
Always a
much for
pleasure.
rocking with us.